Looking around my craft room, I realize I actually use a lot of like free and inexpensive storage, especially for anything that's tucked away. And so I thought I would share with you 5 different ways that I store things really inexpensively or for free in my craft room. Hi, I'm Jess from jesscrafts.com, and I'm here to help you make the most of your crafty supplies and time. So let's take a look. Today, the thing that I want to share a couple of different things that you do for free, but this one is like by far the most popular. I hear most people say is they just take old sturdy boxes and containers and they turn them into craft storage. So cell phone boxes like these ones here that are particularly sturdy are like really great. But I found other sturdy boxes from all kinds of things, and even some less sturdy boxes like that are a little more flimsy can be fine if you're not going to take them in and out of your drawer a lot, if they're just kind of being like a placeholder for something. They're not always the cutest. Sometimes they have a bunch of writing or designs on the outside, but you could totally cover them with paper if that made them cuter, especially if you're going to put them on display. But I've also heard people using like tubes. So, maybe you don't want to use a toilet paper tube per se, but there's like other ways that they, you can find paper tubes and things that are stored in it. And they use that for things like holding pens upright or holding glue bottles or things like that. So I love using sturdy old boxes. I keep like an eye out for them, when I'm breaking down packages, that kind of thing. And you can also tell your friends and family to keep a hold of them for you. And you'll see that your collection could grow quite quickly. And that is how most of my drawers are full of used or like previously used boxes, like trash boxes, but I decided they weren't trash. However, occasionally what happens is then I have a little like section of the drawer that is like an odd shape and I don't have a box for it. But I don't want my stuff to be like slip sliding around because there's that like extra space, or I have a very specific size thing I need to store. And so sometimes I make my own boxes. I don't have a really great way of doing this, but there is a presentation at the upcoming Paper Crafters Get Organized Summit where you can learn to make your own boxes for storage in the craft room. There's another presentation that also shows you how to make angled storage, like DIY, for your drawers so that you can kind of see things and they're held up at a little bit of an angle. And so I thought I would mention those because I think that it's important to know that there's going to be some resources that you don't have to like go buy all these specialty bins to get your craft room organized, because there's some great presentations like that. So I am a presenter at the Paper Crafters Get Organized Summit. There is a free ticket available. I recommend anyone try that. Even if, you're not sure you want to see all the presentations, just go ahead and try for that free ticket. And there's an affiliate link in the video description for that, because some people would want to upgrade. They want more access to the presentations. Like you only get them for 24 hours with the free ticket. You get them longer. And there's all kinds of benefits, but I'll let you check that out. I just wanted you to know that it wasn't all about us like showing you the really expensive, fancy organizers in the world. I'm going to be showing you how to stay organized during a project. And I'm going to give you like inexpensive options and then some specialty products and that kind of stuff too. So the next thing that I like to do so I would say these aren't free because I'm making it with cardstock that I have, but you absolutely could be like saving cereal boxes and using that to make these or something. But you probably already have cardstock if you are a paper crafter like me. And the other thing I would suggest to do with your cardstock to make inexpensive organization is just to make yourself dividers. You can make them just out of cardstock. I have had these dividing my stamps in my drawers for many years, and they are just cardstock. I didn't laminate them or anything like that. I know people use sometimes like plastic folders and pieces of plastic for this kind of thing and put the labels on them. You can do that, but this I have found has held up pretty well. And also as a crafter, you might have your own laminator, and then you can avoid buying the extras, like if you already have laminating sheets and that kind of thing. Anyway, that would be a way to maybe make these a little more durable, but honestly with thick cardstock they've held up pretty well. Of course, my label maker costs something, so if you don't already own a label maker, just print these labels on off of your regular printer and tape them on, or hand write them or something like that. I've got a little fancier with my die storage dividers because I did choose to laminate them, since they're kind of like flipped through a little bit more and dies are a little bit heavier. And then I even used a die I already owned that looked like a tab so that I could kind of stagger them. But you would absolutely be able to just kind of hand cut a little tab or something like that if you want it. But I think it's great to use our craft products to also help us with organization, because then, you know, we get a little more bang for our buck. Okay, and in addition to making my own boxes, I also sometimes make dividers for existing containers. So like this goes in a storage cube on my desk. And so I already owned these buckets, but they were a little too big. I needed them to be smaller so I could divide up my things. I just took some cardstock, made some quick measurements, and made something that broke it into 2 halves. Similarly here, with this similar kind of box, I was like, oh, you know, I need some quick dividers for things. So just like I said there with my stamps, you know, here's my card bases or my perfect cardstock for Copic coloring or something. And I have my little pieces pre-cut, my envelopes off to the side, that kind of thing. And so making your own storage dividers, these again are just cardstock dividers. So I think cardstock can go a long way in helping you to get your things organized. The one more tip for a cardstock based organizer, and this is a little bit more specialty. I cross stitch, and I know it's really popular to stitch on your card. So, you know, this might not be for everyone, but using this is called a floss drop. I could imagine using this with ribbon too, though, so this is part of the reason I wanted to share it. And some people will store their floss on bobbins as well, which are very inexpensive, so that would be a great use, and you can make your own bobbins. And some people store their washi tape on bobbins, so they take it off of the rolls, especially if they split a pack with someone or something like that. So what's cool about this is I get, you know, my DMC embroidery floss, or there's other brands out there, and I wind it on a floss winder that I've also made from cardstock. You can get nice ones out there for sure. And so I cut it to a designated length and then fold it in half and slip it through this hole. And now these, to be clear, I cut these on my Cricut. These were, you know, my Cricut's not free. And I think I purchased a little file for these as well. But you absolutely could just cut these as a rectangle and then punch a hole in the top with a standard hole punch so it fits on a binder ring, which is inexpensive. And then use a circle die or another punch you have to make a slightly larger hole here on the bottom. And what's cool about this is then once you have your floss on there and you need a little strand for your stitching on your card, you can just slip your needle under just one strand of floss and pull, and it comes right off. Sorry, that was like the wrong color to choose there. But then, you know, that can be a really convenient way to store them. Again, if you like the bobbins, those also can be really inexpensive. So I thought I'd highlight that fun sort of niche thing. And then this one I would definitely put in the inexpensive category. And that is that I use a lot of zip top bags in my craft room. I have found that whether I get the specialty ones like you saw before that my stamps fit in, and I will link a couple in the video description of like, this is the size I use for the size stamp set, that kind of thing, because I do use them for most of my stamp sets. I have also found they hold embellishments. They hold cardstock, paper pads, all kinds of stuff. And it just helps me for like when I've opened a package, I am now not losing everything. I know some people also like stamp pockets and will store similar things in stamp pockets. If that works great for you, please keep going, of course. But I do think that these work out to be less expensive sometimes. And also what I like about them is they're a little bit less of a specialty product because you can go into your grocery store and get zip top bags. So these are like quart size bags and they're great for a lot of embellishments. They hold 6x6 patterned paper really well. 6x8 does poke out a little bit at the top. I can't zip it, but it does work fairly well for that. Or like this is a gallon size zip top bag and I can't zip my cardstock inside of it, but it does keep it together. And you know, I have my label here. So once I actually honestly kept this cardstock in just the wrapping that it came in my drawer until the wrapping just got like too messed up. And then I transferred it over to this reusable bag or this zip top bag that I can reuse over and over and over again. So I think that they can work out to be pretty inexpensive, handy. Another thing I love about them is that you can then use them over and over again. So once you've used up all the embellishments in this particular pack, you hold on to the bag and use it for the next thing, because I'm not writing any labels on these. Like in this case, it's really easy for me to see, because like here, I see that's the scrapbook.com boho smooth card stock. Like I don't need to put a label on it. So, you know, I can use these bags over and over and over again. Same thing with my Lawn Fawn stamps, because my backer sheets fit inside of my bags. I don't have to put a little label on them. So that saves me a lot of time over the stamp pocket method. And sometimes the backer sheets do fit in stamp pockets, but I've seen a lot of people who then like relabel them or do the other things like that. So I like this method because it's a little bit faster for me, the way that I do things. So I hope that one of those tips has helped you to, you know, think, okay, I can go raid my stash to make something, go to the kitchen and maybe reorganize some stuff into bags that aren't working because the original packaging is ripping, or I'm finding that my cardstock keeps falling out the side of my paper pack or whatever, you know. So I just, you know, hopefully you've got a good idea here, but please, I know you guys have great tips for like free, inexpensive things. Tell me that piece of trash that you almost threw out, and then it was the perfect organization tool for your craft room, because I bet we almost all have a story like that. If you found this video helpful, here's another video where you can find more ideas for enjoying your crafty time and supplies. Let me know you like this video with a share to your crafty community, subscribe and click the bell so you don't miss the next template or tutorial, and check the video description for product links. See you in the next video.